I'm Arthur Viente. I'm with Ashville Botanicals. We've been around since 2015, and I've been in the industry since then. Our focus is really on creating the highest concentrate, the highest efficacy product that we can. And we're here to help answer any questions you have. Well, that varies from person to person, the dose, but we basically created the whole point of a high concentrate is that you want to take as little as possible for the most impact. So our bottles all have a tincture that has pre-measurements on it. We start with 0.25 and goes up to 1. We recommend you do the 0.25 twice a day and see how your body reacts. Now, a sublingual oil, when you're taking that, is what we focus on primarily, does have to be adjusted in your body, and it's going to take 2 or 3 days. So after 2 or 3 days, if you're not feeling an impact, then we'd say increase. So how much you take becomes a function of you monitoring the reaction to it as you get it. As an example, I take it for myself. I have osteoarthritis. I started with the 0.25. I had very severe pain from it, so I ended up going up to 0.5. That worked perfectly for me. That's what I take twice a day. Biggest. One is that CBD by itself is the cannabinoid that everybody thinks is going to help them. It's going to heal them or do something special. It's actually the aggregate of all the cannabinoids working together that has the most impact. So rather than have an isolate CBD, I think what we've learned over time specifically is that it's the total of all the cannabinoids, keeping them intact, that has the biggest impact. In fact, a lot of it's because it's a new industry. And it's not so much ignorance as it is just people aren't informed right now. So you're nervous and you're thinking, well, what should I take? Will it really help me? Are there side effects? So the biggest challenge is getting through those hurdles of what the product actually is, how it could potentially benefit you, and then how much do I take? How do I ingest this or take this product? I would tell them that the best part about this is a natural supplement. So there aren't any known side effects. All the studies that have been done to date really have proven that. And it provides an opportunity to deal with any ailments or issues like we talk about here. You've got the signs of nervousness and sleep anxiety. The 3 biggest issues being anxiety, sleep, and pain. It deals with those in a natural way, so you can eliminate the use of a lot of pharmaceuticals, which do have a lot of side effects. So CBD is now, it's kind of on the edges because the FDA is just now starting to get involved since it was legalized. So there are now just starting to be clinical studies where they can look at it from a medical perspective. Because in medicine, you have to have clinical studies to really measure it. Most of the work that we've done are anecdotal studies because we haven't had the ability or capacity to go with the clinical studies. So that's probably a good long-term question as we learn more. I think the medical community will look more seriously at it. And I think that over the next couple of years, you'll actually see the pharmaceutical companies jumping in really big because as they learn of the benefits, they're going to want to try to control that. No. Actually, that's a great question because you can't take too much. When you asked earlier, how much do I take? Most medicines have what's called a bell curve effect, right? So you're going to take a certain amount, and then when you get to that point where you have to stop, you should stop. And if you don't, then it starts to go on a decline. CBD products, especially a full spectrum like we use, has what's called an infinite curve. So you can just keep taking it and taking it. It may not get you to the benefits you want, but it's not going to hurt you to keep going up that curve. That's a question you really have to speak to your doctor about. There aren't any studies that have proven any specific ones. But that would be something I would say check with your doctor. As an example, my wife has to be on blood thinners. So she had to talk to her doctor whether or not would this have any impact before she cleared it. Personally, so about 1.5 years ago when I became involved with this company, I'm actually a partner in this company, I was actually shopping CBD products because I have osteoarthritis in my knees and my back. And I was trying to find out what would work for me, and I wasn't getting great success. So when the Anim product was introduced to me from my friend who owned the company, he said, try this stuff. So I did it for like 3 days, found almost an immediate positive reaction. At the same time, I was taking a lot of Advil too because I was trying to minimize that pain. Within a month, I stopped taking Advil. And for the last year I've been taking it. I don't take Advil anymore, and it basically mitigates the pain to a point where I can do a lot of the physical activities I wasn't able to do. Depends on who your doctor is. Some are just not well educated on it. My internist, for example, when I was going through that process, she spoke to me and said, yeah, give it a try. So it's more a function of who your doctor is and how educated they are. Now, I do live in Colorado, so that's a very progressive state. So I think the medical community might be a little bit more versed on it. California is probably the same, but absolutely, you have to talk to your doctor. You might have to encourage them to read up on it a little bit. Well, I think you would want to use it if you have issues that you want to deal with that you might be taking prescriptions or over-the-counter drugs for, and you maybe want a more holistic approach to that. For example, I said I didn't want to keep taking Advil because Advil over a long period of time has an adverse effect on your body. It could impact your kidneys, your liver function. So I was looking for a more natural, holistic way to deal with that, an issue that's a very real issue that won't go away. Multiple reasons. Like I said earlier, there are basically three primary reasons that people think about it. One is for just anxiety or nervousness. And that usually, for example, when we do something like that, we have a balance. It's all about how it's blended and the concentrate. And so it's a little bit lower concentrate. You're just trying to steady the person's nerves and body. Whereas when you go up to a relief, as an example, that's a much, much higher concentrate, and we're trying to address inflammation and or the pain associated with that. So you would use it to resolve issues around pain, anxiety, potentially sleep. One thing that I've found in working with people on that too is that a lot of people, their sleep issues come from a subset of pain and or something else. So you want to think about, let me try dealing with one at a time, and then you can always layer on top of that. No, it's not addictive. It's just like cannabis, it's not addictive.